Hey Pancakers, welcome back to the Terraria Survival Guide. Today we are going to be continuing, but we aren't going to do this based on days or nights anymore. Just because of the fact that I've shown you what you should do on your first couple of days. And that should be the only thing in the game that you actually use the day or night for. Besides for some specific things like some bosses, a lot of bosses actually only spawn at night. Stuff like that, where we're gonna obviously be using the day-night cycle for that. Last time I found the zombie arm, and just a little recap on the zombie arm is, it's basically just a like sword, like this strong brutal sword and stuff like that. Except for the fact that does quite a bit more damage than this. But everything you can kill with the zombie arm, you should also be able to just kill with the sword. At this point, let's quickly go over what, at this point in the game, what you should have for every class. You might have an accessory, but a lot of the time you won't have any. Here, just depending on what you find. Accessories do make your life easier, though. You can get some type of wooden armor. Typically, it's either rich mahogany, burl wood, shade wood, ebon wood, something like that, just a wood type. Typically, you don't want to have this type of wood. Honorable mention on the wood types is cactus armor, which is insanely good because it gives you thorns. For melee, you're going to have something like an enchanted boomerang, or a zombie arm, or just a wood sword. If you're going if you're going to be using yo-yos a lot, you might have a yo-yo. For ranged, you can have throwing knives, shurikens, and probably some type of bow, along with maybe a couple of grenades. Magic and summoner don't have a ton by this point. If you find a living wood tree, you might have a finch staff for summoner. You can also, if you die a lot, you can also have an Abigail's flower from a gravestone. You probably won't have one by the end of the second day though, or second night. Then you might also get a slime staff from just these slimes we find around. It's insanely rare to get, but is an item. Then also for magic, you're probably gonna either have Frost Spark, a Wand of Frosting, or a Wand of Sparking. Wand of Frosting is just a strict upgrade to it, but both don't do a ton of damage or anything. And yeah, so that's what you should have by this point. You should also have like a hammer, pickaxe, axe, so on. One thing with your tools is you want increased speed, so you want agile or light is another good one. If it's something like weak, you don't particularly care about that because that doesn't lower the swing speed. Tools are almost exclusively based on the swing speed. Anyways, so I'm gonna go into the mine now. Mine down, and I will be back once you get something. I'll see you then. Okay, Pancakers, we found the thing down here. Now, this can make a good fishing spot. I'm gonna quickly make this look kind of nice. Detail to this. This isn't too far down from the base house. We do need wood because we would probably want more platforms. You probably want to have a stockpile of platforms when you're going to a cave. I'm gonna just turn a ton of them into platforms. Normally I try to carry around over 100 with me when I go into caves like that. Just because it's always nice to have an abundance of them. And I also sometimes forget to get some. You can do multiple things in this scenario though. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a platform going down here. And I hear the music changed, which means we're probably going to be underground at this point. I kind of want the staircase to go into the thing up there. So what I'm going to do is have one long platform down here. I'm going to mine this to make it look a bit nicer. And we'll probably make this like a little underground fishing cabin area later on. Fishing is a decently big part of this game if you want to get some specific loot. But we aren't going to be doing fishing right now. I can put that under there, or I could do something like getting standing torches down. Oh yeah, there's also a quick stack the nearby chest option and quick sort inventory button here. Sorting for example, if I decide to sort, oh, by the way, chests have a ton of things. There's a sort chests option, and if I keep clicking that, you can see there's like a yellow, there's green, there's cyan, and so on. All of those are typically wanted. Then I'm gonna go grab, I want to make this look nice, so I think I'm going to use rich mahogany standing torches some more. If I can find some, here we go. I'm going to be making 3 because I'm going to put 3 down there. There's dirt bombs and there's also sticky bombs. Sticky bombs will just stick onto wherever it happens and don't get affected by gravity after it hits something. Dirt bombs make dirt. Sticky bombs are a lot more useful than dirt bombs typically though. The dirt bombs are just fun to use. And looking through this chest really quickly, we have a wooden boomerang, but we already have a superior enchanted boomerang. If you have multiple like wooden boomerangs, a good idea might just be to make both of them into enchanted boomerangs to see if you get better reforge on it. Superior and Godly are some of the best reforges in the game for this. Legendary is another one. So typically you don't want to change that. I'm also going to make more torches because looking at my torch count, I kind of just need them. We just go up here, we can make torches. Now an idea if you don't want to waste sprawl wood is put normal wood in your inventory, put the gel in your inventory and close the chest because then it can only access stuff in your inventory. I'm also going to be using some mana crystals, or 1 mana crystal I guess, just for the extra bit of mana. And I will go back under here and place down these standing torches. I'm going to mine over here. I do see something down here, but I don't think that's going to be a major thing. We'll do an entire episode, not an entire episode, but like we'll probably do a fishing episode where I explain fishing in more detail. And probably make this into an entire fishing spot. But for right now, I'm just going to go over this way. And then create another way down if I don't run into more water. Which I am going to do here. There's also a chest there. So running into this water might not be bad. The one thing I'm going to want to do though is drain out this water a little bit. Because I do want to be able to just easily walk around. Without having... Make sure you don't drown, obviously. But I want to be able to easily walk around up there without the water getting in the way. So I am going to empty this area. By the way, you typically don't want to kill critters. When you see something like this, you might want to make a... just like wall that off. The reasoning is because if you don't wall it off, it's going to be really hard to fix later on. So that just helps save it for the future. I think this should be enough to store the water up here. I do see a goldfish over here too. And be careful because water will just destroy torches. And yeah, we didn't go down enough here. So we're gonna have to mine some more. And I will be back after I've gotten the water under the level of this. I'll see you then. Okay, Pancakers, welcome back. I'm gonna re-put down the torches. Something like that. And yeah, so this would be big enough just to fish in right now if you had the stuff, and it's nighttime. I'm gonna light up this underground area. It seems like this underground area is also the same underground area we saw under our house here. We will probably fill this area in later on. Or just turn it into like a cool aesthetic area, maybe a basement leading into it. We got some lead in here. I also saw copper down there. There's also copper right here. You might want to go and mine these. The reason you want to go and mine copper is just it's a resource you can get. We probably aren't going to be using copper all too much because it's the worst ore in the game. You could also be getting tin. Tin is the equivalent to copper on tin worlds. I'm going to make this look nice really quickly. Oh, by the way, you don't have to be making things look nice. It's just I like making stuff look nice. And it is nighttime right now, as we saw with the zombie. So this zombie should be falling down, yep. So at nighttime, if you like your character's hairstyle, it might be a good idea to come out and kill some demon eyes. We will need loot from demon eyes later anyways, because they drop lenses. Lenses are used for goggles and for boss summons. And yeah, so the thing we'd want them for is just the boss summons. But I'm gonna go this way now. We're getting clay. Clay can be turned into pots. But later on we can also just buy potting supplies. I think I'm gonna go this far. I see there's something right here, so I'm gonna dig into it. I also see there's a zombie coming this way. I'm gonna make this look a bit nicer. Something like that, probably. And there's a water chest down there. So different chests will have different loot in it. Water chests have water-themed loot. And I will tell you how to get the differences between the loot types. And like different, or not differences in the loot types, but differences in like the chest types. Just making this platform go all the way across. Putting down some torches so we can see what's around here. I see there's something going down there. I also see there's lead here. You're going to need a lot of lead throughout the game, so I'd recommend when you see lead or iron. This is the lead world, iron's the counterpart. To just go and mine it. Mining lead. Honestly, at this point in the game, you should probably mine every ore. Because you can turn almost every ore into either something aesthetic or something that would just be good for you. I see a little hint of lead over here, so I'm going to mine to it. Okay, I mine to it, and here's what we're doing here. Also, copper up here. Sometimes copper always will be a trouble to get because you need to go up. I'll probably turn like this entire little portion of the cave system into something looking cool later on. But let's just take this chest. We got a breathing rod. That's probably we got an annoying one too. So you can use this as an early melee weapon. The main use for it though is just holding it underwater. Because you can be underwater like this, and yeah. Just be careful that when you're swinging it, it counts the air from where the tip is. So see, I'm not losing any air, but I swing it and then I start losing some air when it's not underwater. We also got another wooden boomerang. Okay, so we got a sock pot bait. This is a pet. It will appear in the pet slot over here. There's also a light pet that will create light for you instead of you needing to always have torches. Then there's a minecart slot. Different minecarts will do different things. Some are just aesthetic, some actually increase your movement speed while on a minecart. Then there's a mount slot. Those are used for like King Slime. So, not King Slime. King Slime's actually a boss. It drops the slime mount. Slimy saddle mount, which will summon a slime that you ride. But different mounts do different things. And then there's also a grappling hook, which is used for a grappling hook. My grappling hook key, I believe, is R, but yours will be F, I think. One good idea for everyone is change your controls when you get an item to like make it feel comfortable for you, having that item. But a water chest looks like this, while overground chest looks like this. Overground chests will have your boomerangs, they will have your wand of sparkings, they'll have stuff like that. Water chests will have water themed stuff, such as the breathing rod, flippers, or intertube. There's also water walking boots and some other things like that you can get from them. And generally, water chests are just better than overground chests. There's also golden chests, which are the normal chest picture, but are golden. Those have your really good accessories and other loot in them. For this point in the game, they'll have things like maces and just really good damage output. As we go down, we see that the dirt background wall is now turning into this other background wall thing. And we're also running into a lot of stone. And as you can see, you can't put torches on this. So this is like the backdrop, like we have in the overworld all the way up here. This also means we're just getting underground. This is called the underground layer. There's also a cavern layer where this texture becomes a more grayish color like stone, instead of more like dirt. You can place stuff through walls by... One thing you should probably do is, if you see a pot, you should maybe go for it, like I am. But I saw that there was an entrance over here that would allow me to get closer to this area over here to just go down. Probably place something down here and up here so you can get back up. And then the underground has different slime types than the overground. I accidentally fell down, but here's one of the slime types right here. There's also some gold. This slime is just a red slime. These underground slimes will typically follow you, so I will need to kill this. Red slime is one of the harder slimes underground. The underground layer you find yellow slimes. You also find red slimes. Those are the two main ones. Overground you typically find blue and green are the most common. And then the cavern layer you will find in the cavern layer you'll find mother and black slimes. Black slimes give you blindness. Mother slimes are like Minecraft slimes where they split into multiple baby slimes when they spawn. And then there's also baby slimes, which are just a subsection of the mother slime. If you kill mother slime, it spawns baby slimes. That's about it. And then I see more lead. So I'm going to go caving, and once we find some... You can also use Jerry Fist to light up other parts of the cave system. But generally what you want to do is start heading down. One big thing I want to say now is I see a boulder up there, and I see this really weird looking path here. But if I look down, there's a tiny red pressure plate down there. If you step on that, that boulder's going to come down, hurtling down and just kind of kill you. So as you know, you can just kind of constantly swing this. So one thing you can do is you can jump down and just like be placing this under you at all times. You can also slowly build down if you want to. Or like build around and then get down here like this so you can deactivate the trap. And then just build back up. Typically you want to deactivate traps before you mine anything. Just because of the fact that if there's a trap, there's probably, if you get in danger and you have to just immediately run, You don't want to be running through a trap and just dying. I also see there's a cave down this way. I will be using that. If you find a dot trap, what you want to do though is you want to remember the position of the dot trap and just deactivate the trap via using a pressure plate or deactivating the pressure plate. I also see mud down here. I'm not getting close to the jungle right here, so this is just naturally spawning mud. That will just happen at times. I'm also going to mine over here, just so I have an easier way to get back up without using a ton more platforms. And then I'm going to go back over here and get the gold. There's also tungsten up there. Tungsten's also another really good metal. And I'm just going to start caving. I will explain things when I find them, but I'll just probably do a speed up portion, maybe some cuts, and then I'll see you then. Okay, so I found something down here. First thing, I found a wraith statue in the water. Statues are used for a variety of different things for aesthetic, but also some of them can be used for summoning creatures. Slime statues summon blue slimes, wraith statues summon wraiths, and so on. You won't have to worry about wraiths until hard mode though, and they also don't drop anything good, so just if you want to have the wraith statue, you can. Another thing is you saw the stone here that kind of looked like it had purple dots in it. Those give you amethyst. There's also things like sapphires, topazes, other things like that in the game. Pick those up when you can. It's a different type of ore, and it's used for mainly magic stuff, though it can be used for grappling hooks. I will see you once I find something else. See you then. So we found a worm here. As you can tell, it kind of just came up. These things are kind of deadly, especially if you're new to the game, because they do that, and they just kind of harass you until you lose all your HP. Easy way to guard from them, though, is bring out some sort of weapon that can hit under you, like this enchanted boomerang, and then make a platform, dodge from it. I also see some green up here, which looks like it's going to be emeralds. Emeralds are just better than amethyst. Amethysts are actually the worst one you can get. Emeralds are one of the better ones you can get, and unlike in Minecraft, you can use emeralds for good stuff, including magic, stuff like that. So gems, which are what emeralds and topazes are and stuff, are used for magic, and generally what magic stuff do in that vein is they make gem cloaks, which will raise your defense a little bit, but they'll give you hidden magical abilities. They're also used for gem hooks, which are obviously a type of hook. And I think this will be a very good learning experience here. Okay, it's not, because it's not actually in the water. But theoretically, let's say there was a ore like right here. What you would want to do is grab one of your just things you don't mind losing, and blocks dropping it, so the water doesn't flood your house, or not your house, but your stuff, and you can just keep digging down. You should also be trying to scout a good place to make a house somewhere near hell. Hell is all the way down here. But once you get that deep, you kind of want to scout a good place to make a house there for a cabin pylon. Pylons are a bit later on, but if you do get that end up getting that deep, you do want to scout it. This is a mini biome over here. Basically, it just has a specific type of background ore, and that's it. But I'll see you once I stop mining it, once I find something else. So one thing I'd like to say is there's a bat down here. What you want to do is let it come to you and then kill it. These things give a debuff that will give you random debuffs in the game, and they are very annoying to deal with throughout the game. There is a crawdad down here. These drop a good yo-yo, so when you see them, you do typically want to kill them. Salamanders and giant celeries also spawn and give that type of thing. Don't just jump into a hole like I did, but this seems to be a massive cave system. Yeah. But as you see, the like brownish background is just turning into a gray background down here. I see Bloodroot that will spawn an NPC. There's a dye trader NPC that will basically what it does is it sells you different dyes, and you need a dye to be able to get it. There's also a skeleton down there. Skeletons are basically just a bit buffed up zombies. But I'm going to make my way to that Bloodroot. I also see some amethysts down here. Gonna mine those. I got 13 of them now. And if you're not choosing a very specific class and just want to be any class, I would recommend using melee at this point in the game. Just because melee deals with crowds and just regular enemies pretty easily. And then choosing range or magic for later in the game. But mainly for fighting bosses, because that's what those classes are good at. They're extremely high DPS, either single target and some are multi-target. You also want to grab this cobwebs when you see them. You use them for silk and other things. You can also use a boomerang to easily get them because they just have to take damage. And there's a minecart track. These are really good because they allow you easy exploration, and there's some black slimes. As you see, I got blinded. There's some gold there, there's a trap there, and you just kind of want to light up this minecart track as you're going down. Okay, and here's one of the most valuable items in the game. It's a life crystal. And basically what this does is allows you to increase your max HP. You should do that, and you should do it until you have 180 max HP. If you get any life crystals past that, you don't want to use them immediately because a boss can spawn after you get 200. And you just kind of don't want that. Anyways, so I'm going to explore and I'll show you what I find. And just if I find anything that I think you guys should know about, I'll tell you that too. I'll see you then. Okay, so one thing I'd like to say is this is going into the jungle, and there is now a jungle bat after me. Typically you don't want to go into the jungle this early, but you can quickly, briefly check through it to see if there's anything immediately on the side of the jungle, like right here. There's a jungle spore, which are these glowing things, but the more important thing is there's a jungle chest. This jungle chest didn't have anything of real use. But that's fine. Oh, in houses, by the way, you can get different... Yeah, so you're going to be taking a lot of damage. I see that, first thing, there's a demon altar there. That kind of shows that's a crimson world. But yeah, if you aren't careful, you'll just get immediately killed in the jungle. So you don't typically want to go that far, but you can quickly go through to see if there's any chests right there to get items. Once you get back to your base, what you want to do is you probably want to store everything. I'm going to store everything I found down there and here. I'm also going to get more wooden platforms, but I'm also going to keep the stone on me. And we'll go over these items in a second after I go back down and get some more loot. But yeah, I'm going to keep stone blocks on me because of the fact that I want to be able to quickly replace stuff in case, and I might not have, I just might not have the stuff to do it at the time without mining more, and you don't want to do extra mining. So I'm going to go back down, and I will see you once I'm back down there and maybe have found something more. Very quickly, if you find this is called silt. It's easy to get. And later on you can turn this into ores, so mine it like it is an ore, but consider the fact that it's going to be a later thing to convert. Sometimes you find things like this where it's just 2 of 1 ore, and you can decide if it's worth getting or not. I don't think either this copper or this is worth getting, so I'm just not gonna. But I do know where it is, so if I do... Ooh, I couldn't go down that way either. But yeah. Remember, let the bats come to you to kill them. And yeah, I will be back once I find some more stuff. There's also slush and there's also slush, by the way, which is silt, but in the ice biome. It's pretty easy to see though, so yeah. See you when I find something else interesting. Okay, Pancakers. One tip is you can use coins for money. Not for money, for sight typically. This time I can't, maybe they did patch that. You can also just use fallen stars though. So I can check. I can put a torch up here. And I see there's a chest here. I also see there's an anvil, a tungsten chandelier, and I also see there's an area down here. Quickly scanning this area, there's nothing down there of worth, so I'm going to jump up and then check what's in this chest. It just has a flare gun. Flare gun's probably the worst underground item you can get because it's found in the cavern layer, but also it isn't very good. It sets things on fire. I'll explain more in depth what I can do if I don't die to this giant skelly. But I will see you after I'm done down here. There's also an undead miner. Those can give you bombs along with some other stuff. Yeah, I'll see you then. Okay, Pancakers. One thing I do want to say is that's a fairy. It will take you to, life crystals, or it will take you to chests. It wants me to go up there, so I am gonna follow it, just by emptying this water down. Also did find topaz. When it's moving like that, it means it has found something. I'm gonna make this a bit more traversable. And it found my death. Thank you. They do despawn, so I won't find that one again. But now I do know there is a chest in this direction if I want to go for it. I will probably not go for it, but it's still good to know. And yeah. By the way, there are detonator traps and stuff, so just be careful when you're stepping on them and stuff. Try not to die. And yeah, I will be back after this last little bit. I think this is going to be the last time I go down. And remember to mine gravestones when you make them, because you don't want to cause a graveyard biome. Those spawn more creatures. And at this point in the game, you don't really want to be dealing with that. So yeah, see you then. Okay, I'm back, Pancakers. I think we can actually just put everything in this chest over here. We can put most of the stuff in the chest, and the things we can't, I can just keep on me. I'm going to be putting the headstone in here, and I'll also be putting the stone back. Let's loot all. We have some things that we can't take out right now. For hopefully obvious reasons. Of course, we have a boomerang. I'll be using this top area as storage, by the way. So I'm just going to be grabbing some chests. And using this as some minor storage. I'm going to call this the weapons chest. This will be the gear chest. Gear will be armor and accessories. Ammo will also go in the weapons chest, and then every single other one of these will be miscellaneous. Actually, I'm going to do this one ores chest, ores and bars. I also put gems in the ores and bars chest. So tungsten gold are used for armor and stuff early game. They're also just really good, so they'll help you just throughout the game. Lead is something you actually want to save, because it's used for a lot of things throughout the game. Copper is used for very early game, like very early game stuff. If you want to make an armor out of it early game, you can. I think it's only about as good as our Burwood set though. Sapphires, emeralds, topazes. Quickly gonna grab the rest of the stuff from this and just move it over. And then also amethysts are used for wands. So when you want to make a wand, you can go grab the item, go to your guide, talk to him, say crafting, and then when you put the sapphire in, it will show you everything you can craft. Yes, you can make sapphire stone blocks. It's the same type of stone that you use to, that you mine. There's phase blades. You get those way later in the game though, after you've beaten a couple of bosses, but you still get pre-hard mode. Pre-hard mode is basically mid-early game-ish, while hard mode is mid-late game-ish. Then you also have the sapphire hook, and then sapphire staff. Sapphire hook takes 15 of them. I do have enough for that. Quickly, let's kill this slime. Go back through him, go to crafting. Press sapphire. I see there's also some, I think that's iron in the slime. So I'm gonna quickly kill it. Yep, it was iron in a slime. Since I have a lead wood, or I can get iron from our slimes and fishing. Go back to this, and then sapphire staff. Then you can also get a sapphire robe. Sapphire robes are for magic builds. Sapphire staffs are also for magic builds. And it looks like I can get both of these. This just takes silver. I don't think I have silver because I think that is the counterpart to tungsten. Which is kind of a downside because some ores take specific things. We also have tungsten bars, and let's just put all of this away. Then, obviously, for weapons, let's just go to weapons really quickly. We have wooden boomerang, we have the breathing rod, I've already covered that. Then we have the flare guns with the flares. Flare gun is just damage. Typically, people consider this to be range, but it's technically still just damage. And how these work is you use them for caving, and this will just light up an area. It's kind of like a mixture between, it's kind of like a sticky glow stick, but it will light up for a while. And then if you hit an enemy with it, it will do fire damage, it will do the little bit of damage, but then it will also do fire damage alongside it. If you want to use it alongside, let's say, a boomerang or something, it could be a good idea to use, because it will just help with damage output against things. And I do believe they have almost infinite PS. I think their PS is like 800 or something. Though they do very little damage, so if you are using it, just keep in mind that you're using it for the fire damage, not the immediate damage. Now we're going to sort these. Gear, it doesn't look like we have any gear right off the top of our hand. We also have an iron anvil, we have a lead anvil down there. And then we should make a potions chest. Potions should be things like your healing potion. Also, we got shurikens. Shurikens are slightly worse than your throwing knife, but they are renewable because you can buy them from not the traveling merchant. You can buy them through the normal merchant, which will spawn in once you have a house and enough money. Featherfall potion, gravitation potions are what we have here. Featherfall allows you to slow falling speed. For the certain duration, if you hold up, your falling speed is slowed even more, but if you hold it down, it gets rid of the featherfall effect while you're holding down. I also see a slime with torches outside, so I'm really quickly gonna grab that. And yeah. Then gravitation potions allow you to revert gravity. These are used very early in the game to find floating islands. We aren't going to be covering floating islands for a while though, because typically they would be considered to be later, like how the balance is later in progression. If you really want to get some like really good weapons early on, you can use gravitation potions, try to find a floating island. We will be covering floating islands a bit before progression than you're supposed to get them, but still a relatively balanced time. We're probably going to be covering them before we go into the jungle, but about right before we go into the jungle. I'm going to use this chest as the natural blocks chest. And this will be clay, dirt, mud, stone. You should also probably put silt in your ores chest. Also put wood in this chest. If we go to weapons, we can quickly put these away. Jungle spores are used for crafting some jungle items. If you're going summoner, magic, or melee, you want this. I don't think there's any ranged weapon for that though. I think you find it in just jungle chests instead. But I'll quickly go over the rest of potions. Night Owl allows you to see better at night. Builder potion allows you to, yeah. Most potions just tell you what they do, so I don't think I have to go over it very much. But I will be back after I'm done sorting. Okay, one quick thing I want to say is I typically put change in this chest here for ores and stuff, and I'm going to just quickly take out all of my ores. And then I will also take out a lot of wood here. I'm not going to take out all of the wood, so I can just quickly quick sort it back in. And I'm going to go to my crafting area and see what I can craft. The first thing I'm wanting to do is turn all of your ores into bars. They'll help you see what you actually can craft. We also get some iron here. If you're looking through, we see we have a lot of copper, so we can turn all of that into copper bars. Then, what else can we make? We can make tungsten bars too. Okay, now it looks like we've turned all of our ores into bars. So quickly, what you might want to do to just get rid of some of the slots in your inventory is put all of the ores away. You also typically at this point want to put the silt away, because you can't transfer it into anything else, and just keep everything else on you. The next thing you want to do is you want to look through this until you find some of the other crafting stations. The one I'm looking for very specifically is the sawmill. I'm going to place the sawmill down, and then at the sawmill you can make a loom. I think you can also make a heavy workbench at the sawmill if you want. I would recommend making that, and I'd also recommend making a loom. You also might want to make, if you're going melee, you might want to make a keg. Kegs are used for some items that buff melee. It's increased damage but decreased HP for melee, not HP, defense for melee. Every other class just gets the decreased defense but no other upside. I'm also going to make a cooking pot, and I'm going to make a glass kiln. I'm going to put the loom down here, then I'm going to put down the cooking pot. Cooking pots are used to cook stuff. And that's about it. You can also cook stuff in a furnace, but the difference is they just cook different things. Heavy workstations are used for specialty stuff, for like vanity mainly, for building. The glass kiln is also the same, where it's also just kind of used for building. I'm going back here and I used most of the lead, but since that's all you really want to use the lead for, you want to come back over here and then put the lead away. You also want to put the chains away. Check if you have any hooks. If you do have hooks, then you can turn the hooks into yeah, you can turn the hooks into some stuff. I do see that I probably want to put down a chair. So what I'm going to do is move the sawmill over here, put the station right here, and get a chair. Now chairs are useful because it slightly increases your health regen while sitting on it, but it also means this is valid housing for the guide, which means he will now live in here, and he won't be homeless. Once you have enough valid housing of NPCs by each other and you have enough NPCs, it will count as a town. Towns will decrease spawn rates of enemies. No, it doesn't mean you won't get any enemies, it just means you'll get less. And then going over here, the immediate thing you want to do is you see you can make a white string. Make one. A good early game tactic is to make a couple and then use the best reforge. Guarding is already a good reforge because it increases my defense, so I'm just going to use that. And what that does is it will increase the distance you can use your yo-yo. Different yo-yos have different distances, but it will increase it for every single yo-yo. And now coming back over here, I can see other things I can craft. I can craft silk. I can craft 10 of it. And then using that silk I can do different things. I can make robes at the loom. I can also make beds. Beds will determine where you respawn. I also see I can make an emerald staff. I'm going to make one, and then this will be my main magic weapon for a while. I'm going to probably replace the yo-yo with it. Not the yo-yo, the throwing knives with it, daggers with it. Actually, I'll probably replace the yo-yo with it because this yo-yo I'm probably going to get rid of for the time being. Just because wooden yo-yos aren't going to be very good for the rest of a while. And I am showing off melee weapons in the zombie arm and enchanted boomerang. I'd like to show off this magic weapon, and I'd also like to show off throwing knives as a throwing weapon. Now we go back down here, we can see we can make golden and tungsten tools. The first tool you might want to make is a tungsten one, and then a golden axe. After you've done that, you can now mine trees decently quickly. Then I can also come out here to kill these zombies and other build-up of enemies. Don't worry about taking too much damage, by the way. Also, when you break gravestones, there is a chance to spawn a ghost, which you might want to be careful about. I did get a lens from that. And I did lose some wood. I'm going to put away most of the ores. A bit quickly, I'm going to check if I can make a good... I can make a good bow. I'm going to make the good bow. It's demonic, which is a good reforge, and it's way better than my wood bow. So I'm going to be using my bow instead of my daggers. At this point, since I'm going to be using a mix of some of the stuff, I'm going to put my daggers away too. I'm going to put my tools away. Now you can sell yours, don't just throw these away because you can actually sell these for a very small bit of money. And also late game you will want a copper pickaxe. I'm putting these away, but I do want a grappling hook, so I will turn my amethyst into a grappling hook and put these away here. I've made an amethyst hook. I'm gonna now kill these zombies out here. And yeah, so that's what you're going to want to do for after you've explored the little bit. You're going to want to go explore the mines, get somewhere down here, and just have that open to you now. Next episode, I think I'm going to be expanding the town, making it look good. And then maybe showing you what to do after just making it look good, explaining some NPCs that will move in. And then a good idea is after you made the town, either go back down mining or AFK for a little bit to get the NPCs. I'm probably going to AFK for a little bit. But yeah. I think that's going to be it for this episode though, Pancakers. I'll see you in the next one. And please like and subscribe if you like this type of content. And yeah, have a great day. Bye bye!